Hi, I am Jay Padia. I am maths faculty. I am having a 12 years of experience of teaching mathematics to the state board, CBSC and ICSE curriculum. Right? I did my graduation in electronics and communication engineering in 2012, and since 2012 I have been teaching the students of state, CBSC and ICSE. Right? And during this long period of journey, I have worked in many schools and institute and premium institute of Gujarat State. Uh, Recently, I was worked in Byju's Tuition Center uh, as a maths faculty, and I was spreading my knowledge pan India. Right, and currently I'm working as a head of the department in tablet learning program, uh, which is managed by Arvind Bhai Mania Research Center, Rajkot. Right. So, guys, in today's session, we are going to learn the basic of polynomial. Basic of polynomial, right? Let me tell you guys, whenever I ask the students, right, what do you mean by variable, right? There are basic three pillars, okay? Variable, constant, and coefficient, okay? But first we discuss a variable. Yes. During this long period of journey, whenever I ask the students, what do you mean by variable, right? Student usually give me the answer such like that: x, y, and z are the variables, right? But after completing my lecture, make sure you will really realize what are x, y, z and what are the variables, right? Promise. Okay. Let me explain a variable. First of all, I'm writing the definition of it. It's nothing but which varies with respect to time. Okay, it's nothing but which varies with respect to time. Now, let me give you a real-time example for better understanding of the concept variable, right? Um, uh, Suppose mm, temperature. Let me tell you a temperature. I'm telling you that temperature is a variable. How temperature can be considered as a variable? Let me give you a real-time example of the temperature. Suppose the sun rises. Sun rises at the same time. Sun rises at the same time. Temperature will be like that 15 or 20 degrees Celsius, right? And at noon, it will be high 35 or 40 degrees Celsius, right? And at evening, again, it will be down again 15 to 20 degrees Celsius. And at night, it will be cool, right? That's why temperature, temperature can be considered as a variable. Okay, temperature can be considered as a variable. One more example for better understanding I am giving you. uh, Suppose our weight, right? Our weight can be considered as a variable. Sir, how weight can be considered as a variable? Let me give you a real time example for better understanding of this concept, right? uh, Suppose all students, all of you are having a vacation, right? And all of you are used to eat a junk food on daily basis, right? Now your weight will be definitely increase, right? Now suppose I am giving you a punishment for upcoming 15 days. You should have to do the fast. Now your weight will be again down, it will be decreased. That's why temperature and weight are the quantities that can be varies with respect to time. Okay. Now the question is like that. Then what are x, y, and z, sir? Let me tell you. In mathematics, suppose I don't know the today's temperature. I don't know the today's temperature of Rajkot city, right? That's why I'm assuming. I'm assuming that today's temperature of Rajkot is X degree Celsius, right? X degree Celsius. Now, what is a variable over here? What is a variable over here? Temperature is a variable, right? Now, then what about this X? X is not a variable, but it is the value of that variable. Over here, variable is temperature, okay? And X is what? X is what? It's a value. It's a value of variable, okay? Now, suppose I don't know my weight. Suppose I don't know my weight, right? That's I'm assuming that Jaisar's weight is y kg. Okay, Jaisar's weight is y kg. Now, what's the variable over here? Same, not a y. Huh? Weight is a variable. Okay, and what about this y? Y is nothing but the value of that variable. Okay, now clear what's the distinction between x and variable, right? X, Y, Z are what and variable are what, right? Variable means it's nothing but which varies with respect to time. And for better understanding, I have given you two examples, real-time example, temperature and weight, right? Now, the next one is a constant. Okay, constant. What do you mean by constant? What do you mean by constant? Exactly previous one, opposite to previous one. Sorry, exactly opposite to previous one. Uh, it's nothing but which do not vary with respect to time. It's nothing but which do not vary with respect to time. Okay. It's nothing but which do not vary with respect to time. Let me give you a real time example for better understanding. Okay. Uh, uh, Let me tell you guys, today is my birthday, right? Today is my birthday and I am so much happy. And I am giving all of you a 500 rupees note as a gift. I am giving you, all of you student, a 500 rupees note as a present, right? Now, some of the students will be Santi, right? They think that these are the notes given by the choicers, right? And we have no right to spend it for our purpose, right? That's why what they will do, they will store that 500 rupees note in their piggy banks, okay? Now, after 20 years, they will open that piggy banks. Then what will be there? That 500 rupees would be converted into 5 crore rupees or what? 5 crore rupees, 5 lakh rupees. No, guys, 500 rupees not will remain 500 rupees not. It means that over here value doesn't change, right? It means that the values remains constant. That's why the term constant is used over here. Okay. Now, in study purpose, how we can distinguish what are the variable and what are the constant. Let me give you some important hint over here. Okay. Suppose I've written one expression over here, 3x plus 2. 3x plus 2. Okay. Now you have to identify over here which what are the variables and what are the constant over here, right? uh, for better understanding, you learn the definitions, right? It's nothing but which varies with respect to time can be considered as a variable. But in study case, the values of the variable for identification we can consider as a variable over here. If you see any x y z values of the variable given to you, you can consider it in study purpose, right? That's why if you find any x y and z values, then you can directly say that these are the variables over here. It means that x is a value, but for study case it can be considered as a variable. Okay, now, sir, what is the constant over here? Let me tell you an important hint. In expression, any alone number, any alone number, any alone number you find, that alone number can be considered as a constant. Then over here, alone number is what? 2. 2 is a alone number. That's why plus 2. Right? Don't forget to consider the sign over here, right? Plus 2 is a constant term. Okay, x is a variable and plus 2 is a constant. And the last pillar for the polynomials basic is a coefficient, right? Now, the definition of a coefficient is what? Definition of a coefficient is what? Definition of a coefficient is, definition of a coefficient is, let me write, coefficient. The definitions such like that the multiplier of the variable is known as the coefficient of that variable. Again, I repeating the previous algebraic expression, right? 3x plus 2, okay? 3x plus 2. Now, uh, we are identifying what are the variables, what are the constant, and what are the coefficient, right? First of all, consider what x, y, and z is a variable, right? Make sure that now you really realize what are the x, y, z, and what are the variables. But for study purpose, we have to consider the values given to us can be considered as a variable, right? Now x, y, z are the variables. That's why x is a variable, right? Okay, and any alone number, I already told you, any alone number you find in the expression that can be considered as a constant. Now over here, plus 2 is a alone number, right? That's why it's a constant. And now the coefficient, the multiplier of the variable is known as the coefficient of that variable. Now the variable is what? X. X is a variable. The multiplier of this variable, right? Multiplier of this variable is what? 3. 3 is the multiplier of this variable x. That's why 3 is nothing but a coefficient, right? The 3 is the coefficient of this variable x, right? Let me revise quickly whatever we have learned in today's session, right? In today's session, we have learned the basic of polynomials, right? There are three basic pillars, right? What are they? First one is a variable, second one is a constant, and third one is a coefficient, right? The variable, now it's clear, right? Whenever any person will ask to you what are the variables, don't say guys x, y, and z are the variables, but say them. It's nothing but which varies with respect to time, and give them a real time examples uh, I have given to you. Weight, temperature, these are the variables, right? And if I don't know the temperature of today's, right, that's I'm assuming that today's temperature is x, right? X degrees Celsius. If I don't know my weight, that's why I'm assuming that Chaucer's weight is y kg. Okay. Over here, temperature is a variable, and x is what? It's the value of that variable. And over here, Chaucer's weight. Weight is a variable, and y is what? A value of that variable. And also, constant, it's exactly opposite to previous one, right? Constant, it's nothing but which do not vary with respect to time. And for better understanding, I've already given you example, real time examples. Money, right? Money. Okay. My birthday's example. Okay. Remember that point in your mind for long lasting memory, right? And third one is a coefficient, right? Multiplier of the variable is known as the coefficient of that variable. And in expression 3x plus 2, right, identify variable constant coefficient. It means that x is a variable, 2 plus 2 is a constant, and plus 3 is a coefficient of. And one more example, 5y minus 7, right? 5y minus 7. Now identify variable. Okay, variable, constant, and coefficient. Make sure that any x, y, z you find in the term, that's why y is a variable. And any alone number in the expression, any alone number over here. Sir, 7? No, guys. Don't forget to consider the sign. That's why minus 7 is a constant. And what's the coefficient over here? Once you find the variable, just look at before. Multiplier of that variable is a 5. That's why pi is the coefficient of variable y. Okay, I hope you cleared all the concepts, right, of today's session. I hope you enjoyed a lot. Thanks a lot. Have a nice time. Bye.